Meeting is now.
Yes, you're good.
Sharon, would you like to begin the meeting?
Yes, I want to call to order the meeting of the Altoona School Board Special School Board meeting, July 16th at 7:20 p.m. Could we stand for a moment of silence and Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Baker.
He is absent.
Mrs. Bream.
Here.
Mr. Francis.
Here.
Mr. Hoff.
Here.
Mr. Hoover.
Here.
Mrs. Irwin Adams.
Here.
Mr. Johnston.
Here.
Mr. Cruz.
Here.
Dr. Malloy.
Here.
Thank you. I would like to announce that we had an executive session this evening at 6 p.m. for purposes of personnel and real estate. And the next item on the agenda is hearing from citizens. Is that going to apply tonight?
I need to read through the motions first, and then the citizen can comment.
Okay. Our first motion will be presented by Dr. Priatel. It's on healthcare solutions.
Administration recommends that the Board of Directors approve entering into an agreement with the healthcare provider network Cigna. This agreement is to run August 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, at an agreed rate of $9 per employee per month. This will be an addition to the Trustmark contract. The administration also recommends the addition of the Prater Transparency System at a rate of $3 per employee per month. Next motion, secondary start of school. Administration requests approval to modify the phased school reopening health and safety plan to reflect the Altoona area high school grades 9 through 12, opening in a virtual setting beginning on August 31st, 2020. This plan will be reevaluated on a weekly basis, extended as necessary through Friday, September 25th, 2020. The AASD plan will be updated to reflect this change and submitted to PDE for approval. Finally, the William P. Kimmel Building. The administration recommends a motion to approve the sale of the former Kimmel School building to the Lighthouse Christian School in the amount of $700,000 per the terms of the sales agreement and pending court approval pursuant of Section 707 of the Public School Code of 1949 as amended. Those are the motions for this evening.
Okay, can I get a motion and a second on these three?
So moved.
Hang on. I've read the motions. Now, Sharon, we can now have comments from citizens. I appreciate everybody's help with this.
I have a question. Right now, as it stands, the plan does not reflect on what happens if, for example, teachers are out and you're not able to fulfill the sub quota. So if you have classes that are uncovered, would that be reflected in the plan? Can we talk about it at the next Tuesday board meeting? What happens with classes? Will they be divided up? How will class sizes be maintained if you don't have teacher coverage?
Is that a question for me? Is that a question? You want me to answer that?
I would like to, yeah. I think it also should then be reflected next Tuesday as well.
Well, we are going, first of all, we're starting to put together the groups with the teachers, and it's going to be a discussion point. We're going to have to work on alternatives and the ways to put that together. Quite frankly, obviously, we want to have subs, we want to maintain coverage. But you are correct. There are times when we do have substitute issues. I think the first thing we need to do is we need to come to a consensus as to how we want to resolve that. We're going to be doing that with our meetings with our building level groups as to how we're going to handle that, and then we'll have a strong consensus moving forward. It is not ideal. This whole thing is not ideal, and that's a very honest, straightforward question. Thank you.
Could we get the name of the citizen that is asking the question?
My name is Heidi Mullendor.
And you are,
Say it again.
and your position?
Well, I'm a parent and I work closely with the school district as an educator with a state park. I'm always in your schools doing programs for teachers and kids.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other hearing from citizens? Okay.
Hey, Chuck, could I ask you a question on that motion for healthcare?
Yes.
You said,
Wait, Dave,
yeah.
can we make it a motion first and then?
Oh, I'm still gonna do that yet.
Right, okay.
I have that question. So
A motion and a second?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Rick.
A second? I'll second it. That is for all three motions, correct?
If you want to do all three in a group, yes.
Or should we do these separately?
I say we should do them separately and we should take a roll call vote.
Well, yeah, we're going to do a roll call vote. Okay, that was a motion and a second for the healthcare solutions. Okay, we're in agreement with that. Okay, now go ahead, Dave.
your motion on the healthcare, you said signal was $9, and so it's the cost of that's not the cost of the hospitalization.
No,
$9.
that is cost of access.
It's I think that was some,
Say again, Dave?
I think some people may have thought that was
No, that is the access to the network. Obviously, the bills from the hospital are additional.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Could we have a roll call vote on this, please?
Mr. Baker, I'm sorry, Mrs. Bream,
Yes.
Mr. Francis,
Yes.
Mr. Hoff,
Yes.
Mr. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Irwin Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
Dr. Malloy.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to the secondary start of school. Can we have a motion and a second on that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, comments? Could we have a roll call vote on that, please?
Could we explain that the delayed opening, Chuck? I think people need to know why we're delaying
Yes.
the opening.
The delayed opening, we will start school virtually. The students will have a full schedule and they will have their classes in order and it will be structured as a school day. The reason we are creating this change is because of the fact that COVID has created construction delays. And while they are putting in overtime, et cetera, to get caught up, there is a strong chance they will not be ready for the first day of school. And to ensure that we can have the building completed appropriately, the construction, the general contractor and the other contractors have asked us for the ability to complete the building in September if for some reason they can't make the August 31st deadline.
And thanks for clarifying that. But you saying that there is a chance we will be good to go. This is a contingency plan, correct?
This is a contingency. We need to plan for it. We have to have the teachers prepared to handle this. The purpose is it's going to be a week by week, depending depending on how the schedule plays out. JCR wants to have the building totally finished and done and ready to go. That said, they also realize that there are things that are beyond their control, and as you're trying to put all these pieces together at the last moment, you want it done right. You don't want to be making mistakes and cutting corners, so they ask us for the flexibility.
I have a question, Chuck. If a student is enrolled in CTC, how will this affect them, or is that still to be determined?
If the CTC is open, they will still be able to do their morning or afternoon at CTC. We haven't looked at the transportation. Normally when we have snow days or we have days that don't line up, the children are responsible for their own transportation. But obviously we will have the ability to run bus runs or other kinds of exceptions to make it work. And we have to work that out with the transportation company.
Any other conversation? Okay, we have a roll call vote on this, please?
Mrs. Breen,
Yes.
Mr. Francis,
Yes.
Mr. Hoff,
Yes.
Mr. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Irwin Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Johnston,
Yes.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
Dr. Malloy.
Yes.
Passes 8. Unanimous.
Okay, and our final motion for the evening, the sale of the William Kimmel Building. If we could have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, comments? Okay.
Chuck, real quick, for the people watching, could you just real quickly run down the sale and the price and how that's going to work? Because there are people, this might be the first time they're hearing it.
We are, in order to assist with our budget, we are selling the Kimmel Building. It will present an operational savings to the district annually of approximately $108,000. In turn, we are selling the building for $700,000 to the Lighthouse Christian School, which is a Mennonite organization. We have in this agreement, if the board approves this, the sale will be pending court approval. We have arranged for the Kimmel program itself to be housed in the Stevens Building, and we've also made arrangements to handle the adult ed and other parts of the equation. This is going to be a strong move for the district because it's us the overhead of keeping that building open, and in turn we get a fair price.
Any other discussion? Could we have a roll call vote for this?
Mr. Francis,
Yes.
Mr. Hoff,
Yes.
Mr. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Irwin Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Johnston,
Ron,
Yes.
thank you.
Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
Dr. Malloy,
Yes.
Mrs. Breen.
Yes,
Motion passed.
thank you. Does anyone have any comments, or anything they would like to add to the meeting tonight?
I would request that Pat Riley, our healthcare consultant, give us a little rundown of how the transition is going to work.
Okay,
Can we also ask questions of Pat that we've been asked for clarification?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, thank you. So as you know, that when, as we discussed, when UPMC, the card that was played, the policy of that they were going to ask people for bills up front, that was something that we immediately had to take action on. The resolution to come up with the Cigna network is that Cigna is a national plan. UPMC inside that network. The county government employees are in Cigna. So that would return AASD UPMC, which is what our first priority was when this first came up, to keep our commitment to the employees. The transition will be that we still have the same administrator of Trustmark, which will be handling it, which allows us to continue to have an independent TPA. So we can continue to try and seek for further cost savings to control the total cost of healthcare for the school. On August 1st, the employees will receive new cards with the Cigna logo on them. They will be active in the Cigna system, and they will have full access back into the UPMC system without what's going on right now about being asked to pay up front and being handed bills. The plan benefits, nothing has changed. Nothing was changed in plan benefits when we made this move administratively. So the commitment from the school remains the same to all of the employees, is to get them back into the UPMC network and also honor the benefit plan designs that we have in place. So the out-of-pockets to the employees go back to, it will be exactly the same as they were under their benefit plan. So, and that's the maximum liability that they would have would be their deductibles, exactly how the plan was offered to begin with. So this will return that to the status quo, just using the Cigna network.
Any other questions for Pat?
Well, just I want to clarify that. So let's get this perfect and clear and on the record. Pat, those people who have received bills up front now, or those people who are currently waiting for procedures like a pregnancy, like giving birth, what is going to happen with those bills? Please clarify that for those people interested.
Yeah, great question. So those bills that they've been handed for services that they've received already, those bills are the responsibility of the school to settle. The responsibility to the individual is no more than what's under their benefit plan. So their deductible or co-insurance. So we'll help those people work through that process. And just as an aside, one of the issues that UPMC did say was that childbirth and cancer treatments, that they were looking to make exceptions long-term for those anyway, Rick. So those people shouldn't have to worry about that. And then we've already knocked down a bunch of issues just in the interim of the 15 days since this came up. But to your point, good question. But the bills, the balance of the bills, just like on the prior plan, even being with UPMC, are the responsibility of the school. The employee's responsibility is no more than what they're obligated to under the benefit plan.
And one more on that. How will staff be educated on the new plan?
I think the best thing to do with the way you guys are set up is to immediately put together a memo from the administrative company, Trustmark, of how the new system would work, and to let people know they'll be receiving a new card. But because everybody's watching it, it's really kind of, well, I shouldn't say simple to anything anymore in the insurance world. But the new cards will come out. They'll be with the Cigna logo on it. The doctors will then know to file claims to Trustmark. All the information is on the back of the new cards, but they won't be turned away at the point of service because UPMC takes Cigna.
So, and
So
also
we'll spend-
on that, real quick, Pat, on that also, a summary of the benefits, a hard copy. How long do you think the turnaround time will be before the employees can look at it for themselves in a hard copy?
Well, the summary of benefit, Rick, is different because the summary of benefit is the existing plan that they already have. So that's already available. So the document is not changing. The benefits are not changing. The rights of the employees under the plan do not change as a self-funded plan. So all of that is available now. All we're trying to do is get the system behind the scenes to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Then I would say meeting is adjourned.
Hold on, wait. Can I please weigh in then? If we're going to end the meeting, I just want to say this. As a board member, I sit in meetings with you guys, and I know every single one of us has the same intention, which is to put our employees in the best situation so they don't have to worry about these healthcare issues. We have been flummoxed. We have been totally upset, and I've seen the frustration of every single board member whenever we put something out, and then I'm going to say this, we feel like we were undercut by UPMC going out then and scaring our employees. They didn't need to do that at all. We were already talking to them. They didn't need to hand these bills to our employees and scare them to death. The only thing our employees should have been worrying about, for instance, is one young lady getting ready to give birth was handed a bill for over $10,000 and told that if she didn't take care of that, they weren't going to deliver her baby. That, in my opinion, is unethical. It was uncalled for, and it makes us look silly. The only thing we have ever tried to do as a board of directors is try to look out for the employees who work for the school district. The pain and the agony that has been felt by people going through pain when it comes to things like cancer treatment is disgusting. And I'm appalled that UPMC acted in this way. It hurts me. I have health conditions, and it hurts me that someone would have to worry about this. We, as the board of directors, only have the employees' best interest in mind. And I, for one, don't think what was done was ethical at all. I think it was inhuman the way this was handled. And every single one of the board is looking out for the employees and only wants the best for this district and the employees, especially when it comes to health issues.
Thank you, Rick.
Hey, this is Ron. I just want to say, I'm out and about in the community, and our employees, they have health issues. The employees' children have health issues. We had teachers at the meeting on Monday, and we said we will take care of this, and we are taking care of it. We spent a lot of time in doing this. Administration staff has done a lot of time in this. We will make it work.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. So meeting is adjourned.
Evening, folks.
Good night.
Thank you.